Here she comes. Welcome, Polish. How dost thou, gentle Polish?
Who's this? Dame Polish. Her she-parasite. Her talking, soothing, and sometime governing gossip. Your lady is still the Lady Lodestone that draws unto you guests of all sorts. Of courtiers and soldiers, scholars, travelers, physicians, and divines. As Dr. Ridley writ, and Dr. Marlowe, they have both wrote of you, and Master Compass.
We mean they should write more ere it be long. Alas, they are both dead, and please you, but your ladyship means well and shall mean well so long as I live. How does your fine niece, my charge, Mistress Placentia Steele?
She is not well.
Not well.
Her doctor says so.
Oh, not very well. She cannot shoot at butts or manage great force, but she can crunch a sack of small coal, eat you lime and hair, so bashes loam, and has a dainty spice of the green sickness.
Oh, child!
Or the dropsy, a toy, a thing of nothing. But my lady here, her noble aunt.
Oh, she is a noble aunt and a right worshipful lady and a virtuous. I know it well.
Well, if you know it, peace, good Sister Polish. You had better speak.
Sir, I will speak with my good lady's leave, and speak again. I did bring up my lady's niece, Mistress Placentia Steele, with my own daughter, who's Placentia too, and waits upon my lady as her woman. Her ladyship well knows Mistress Placentia Steele, as I said, her curious niece was left a legacy to me by father and mother, with the nurse keep that tended her. Her mother, she died in childbed of her, and her father lived not long after, for he loved her mother, and they were a godly couple. Yet both died, as we must all. No creature is immortal, I have heard our pastor say, no, not the faithful. And they did die, as I said, both in 1 month.
Sure she is not long-lived if she spent breath thus.
And did bequeath her to my care and hand to polish and bring up. I polished her and fashioned her and formed her. She had the sweat both of my brows and brains, my lady knows it, since she could write a quarter old.
I know not that she could write so early, but I do know she was so long in your care, till she were 12-year-old that I called for her and brought her home, for which I thank you, Polish, and am beholden to you.
I sure thought she had a lease for talking for 9 lives.
She has.
Sir, 16,000 pounds was in her portion, for she was indeed their only child, and this was to be paid upon her marriage, so she married still with my good lady's liking here, her aunt. I heard the will read. Master Steele, her father, the world condemned him to be very rich and very hard, and he did stand condemned with that vain world, till, as 'twas proved after, he left almost as much more to good uses in Sir Moth Interest's hands, my lady's brother, whose sister he had married. He holds all in his close grip. But Master Steele was liberal and a fine man, and she a dainty dame and a religious and a bountiful. You knew her, Master Compass?
Spare the torture, I do confess
And
without
her
it.
husband? And what a fine couple they were, and how
Yes.
they lived and loved together
Yes.
like a pair of turtles and feasted all the neighbors.
Somebody take her off, that have mercy.
Oh, he knows her, it seems.
Doctors, if you be Christians, undertake one for the soul, the other for the body.
Oh, she would dispute with the doctors of divinity at her own table, and the spittle preachers, and find out the Armenians.
The Arminians?
I say the Armenians.
Nay, I say so too.
Yes, so Master Polish called them the Armenians.
And Medes and Persians, did he not?
Yes, he knew him, and so did Mistress Steele. She was his pupil. The Armenians, he would say, were worse than papists, and then the Puritans were our Persians, had the fine piercing wits.
And who, Medes?
The middlemen, the lukewarm Protestants.
Oh, out!
Sir, she would find them by their branching sleeves, branched cassocks, and branched doctrine beside their text.
Stint, Carline, I'll not hear. Confute her, parson.
I respect no persons, chaplains, or doctors. I will speak.
Yes, so it be reason. Let her.
A death, she cannot speak reason.
Nor sense if we be masters of our senses.
Now, what mad woman have they got here to bait?
Sir, I am mad in truth and to the purpose, and cannot but be mad to hear my lady's dead sister slighted, witty Mistress Steele.
If she had a wit, death has gone near to spoil it, assure yourself.
She was both witty and zealous, and lighted all the tinder of the truth. As one said of religion in our parish, she was too learned to live long with us. She could the Bible in the holy tongue and read it without pricks, had all her Nazareth, knew Burton and his bull, and scribe Pringent, presto begone, and all the Pharisees.
Good gossip, be you gone at this time too, and vouchsafe to see your charge, my niece.
I shall obey if your wise ladyship think fit. I know to yield to my superiors.
A good woman, but when she's impertinent grows earnest, a little troublesome and out of season, her love and zeal transport her.
I'm glad that anything could port her hence. We now have hope of dinner after her long grace. I brought your ladyship here a hungry guest, a soldier, and my brother, Captain Ironside, who, being by custom grown a sanguinary, the solemn and adopted son of slaughter, is more delighted in the chase of an enemy in execution of 3 days and nights than all hope of numerous succession or happiness of issue would bring to him.
He is no suitor, then.
And if he can get pardon at heaven's hands for all his murders, is in as good a case as a new christened infant. His employments continue to him, and did not allow him any time or place to commit any other sins but those. Please you to make him welcome for a meal, madam.
The nobleness of his profession makes his welcome perfect, though your coarse description would seem to sully it.
Never were a beam of so much favor doth illustrate it right nobly.
She hath cured all well.
And he hath fitted well the compliment.
Here they come, the prime magnetic guests my Lady Lodestone so respects. The Arctic. And the Antarctic. Sir Diaphanous Silkworm, a courtier extraordinary, who by diet of meats and drinks, his temperate exercise, choice music, frequent baths, his horary shifts of shirts and waistcoats, means to immortalize mortality itself, and makes his essence of his whole happiness the trim of court.
I thank you, Master Compass, for your short and cognostic.
Concise and quick, the true style of an orator.
But Master Practice here, my lady's lawyer, or man of law, for that's the true writing, a man so dedicated to his profession as scarce the thundering brute of an invasion, another 88 threatening his country with ruin, would no more work upon him than Syracuse's sack on Archimedes. So much he loves the nightcap, the bench gown with the broad card at the back. These show a man betrothed unto the study of our laws.
Would you but think the crafty impositions of subtle clerks, feats of fine understanding to abuse clocks and clowns with, Master Compass, having no ground in nature to sustain, or light from those clear causes to the inquiry in search of which your mathematical head hath so devoured
Not all men are philosophers to their inches. There's within Sir Interest, as able a philosopher in buying and selling, has reduced his thrift to certain principles, and in that method, as he will tell you instantly, by logarithms, the utmost profit of a stock employed, be the commodity what it will. The time or place causing but very, very little, or I may say no parallax at all in his pecuniary observations. He has brought your niches a portion of them, madam, at least the man that must receive it. Here they come negotiating the affair. You may proceed the contract in their faces and read the indenture in silence.
What is he, Master Compass?
A vipolitic or sub-aiding instrument of state, a kind of laborious secretary to a great man, and likely to come on full of attendance and of such a stride in business, politic, or economic, as well his lord may stoop to advise with him, and be prescribed by him in matters of highest consequence when he is dulled or wearied with the less.
'Tis Master Byers, Lord Watching's politic.
You know the man.
I have seen him wait in court there with his manacles and papers and petitions.
He is one that overruled